A small town tucked away in the woods of Lake County has a much bigger story than you may know. In this special report, photojournalist Zach Rasminis and I dive into the very important but often untold history of Idlewild, the Forgotten Paradise. It's 1912. Northern Michigan, rich with sturdy timber, became the place to be for the logging industry. But that left behind acres upon acres of open land.
The small group of white men who started Idlewild in an area where there was overcut timberland. The Branch brothers and Mr. Lemon got together, went to the bank, and purchased 2,700 acres.
Fast forward to the early 1920s, the Branch brothers and Wilbur Lemon came up with a plan to make that land available for African Americans, an extremely uncommon opportunity at the time.
Branch sees this and he begins to realize a lot of the people who were migrating from the South to the North were not sharecroppers or tenant farmers, but they were also professional African Americans.
People came from Canada, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois, all over. It really became the popular place to be, and it was affordable.
Idlewild became a place where African Americans could escape the hardships of racism.
I call it an R&R from R, rest and relaxation from racism.
It became, in a sense, therapeutic to just be there, to ride the horses, to swim in the lake. Idlewild was a place whereby, for a moment, you can go and enjoy a sense of peoplehood that enable us to go out of Idlewild back into our segregated communities with a sense of purpose and a sense of dignity.
In the late 1920s, advertisements like this would play at colored movie theaters, showing off lush wilderness, sparkling lakes, and smiling faces. Idlewild's popularity grew.
Between the 30s and 1964, Idlewild was a jumping place.
In the height of Idlewild's popularity in the late 40s and 50s, visitors would pack into venues like this, what used to be the Flamingo Club, for an evening of lavish entertainment and fun.
A who's who of African American musicians performed there.
Iconic artists like the Four Tops, Aretha Franklin, and Della Reese filled Idlewild clubs. During a time of stark segregation, even white vacationers would come to this notorious black resort to enjoy glamorous showgirls, singers, and other entertainers.
But there were some white folks who would come there, and they would leave as soon as the entertainers were done. Then you find other white folks who come into the area, they would stay too. They would kick it there. They felt comfortable there.
These are the glory days many people like Marilyn Atkins remember very fondly.
At 12, I was able to see a lot of the Motown acts because they would practice at noon at the Paradise Club, and we'd sit there with our Coca-Cola thinking we were very grown up. This was always a place of gathering. We always had a lot of company. There's the horses and the skating rink.
Marilyn remembers building a cottage from the ground up with her family as a young girl.
This is me sleeping in the tent in the front yard when we were clearing the property, and this is me cutting down a tree.
The same cottage she owns to this day. But the Idlewild we know now looks very different. With the passing of the Civil Rights Act in 1964, Idlewild's appeal faded.
Segregation was banned, and then integration came in, and Idlewild began to die, because African Americans we could go anywhere. Of course, the clubs shut down, no more horseback riding, no more skating rink. It really went to seed.
Today, the boarded up clubs and rusty motel signs are lingering ghosts of Idlewild's meaningful past, but also a glimpse of what many hope could someday, in some capacity, return.
To me, it is still a precious, precious place, historically, and it can be going forward.
Many of the people we spoke to did say that they are seeing more people interested in buying property in Idlewild, especially younger generations who have family that vacation there.